Smashed in the face with a shopping cart. Many of you have probably seen this video that's been circulating around. We're going to talk a little bit about that today because I was shared that video and asked, could a shopping cart be a deadly weapon? We're going to discuss that and more about that video. Anything that can be used to seriously hurt or kill another human being can be considered a deadly weapon, and you could be charged with such. In law school, we read a case where a pair of pantyhose was deemed a deadly weapon because an individual strangled a woman with a pair. I remember a case in Florida a number of years back where a person was charged with aggravated assault with a deadly weapon for throwing a 3.5-foot alligator through a drive-in window. So anything that can cause serious bodily injury and or death can be deemed a deadly weapon, and you can be charged that way. Now, when we get back to this case with the woman who was smashed with the shopping cart, from what I have read, and this happened in Brazil, different laws, different culture and such than here in the United States or other countries. But from what I read, the woman was not seriously injured. She was treated and released. And because there were no serious injuries, the person was charged with something really minor type of assault, and he was released as well. If it would have been in a different country, things may have panned out a little differently. If she would have been seriously hurt or killed, things could have panned out differently. Thankfully she wasn't. Now, a couple other things about that video. One, we have to address situational awareness. This woman was in complete oblivion. This guy is picking up a shopping cart, coming toward her to smash her in the head with it, and she did nothing to try to get out of the way, retreat, defend herself. I don't know if she completely didn't see what he was doing because she was too occupied. It's tough to tell in the video. Was she in shock, thinking this guy's not really going to do this? Regardless, she got smashed in the face with that cart without taking any type of evasive maneuvers, preparation to try to defend herself. We must be aware of what's going on around us and take the actions to keep ourselves safe. Those actions could be escape to safety. She could have ran away. She could have run much faster than him, than he could have ran with that shopping cart over his head. She could have got behind something that prevented him from smashing that on her. And then last resort, we attack back. The guy has a shopping cart above, he's going to smash, and you have nowhere to go. You go forward straight into the guy and smash him and not take that full force of the shopping cart into your face. So those are our options, whether it's a firearm, a knife, or a shopping cart. We need to do something to keep ourselves safe. Avoid and escape, deny access to being hurt, attack back and stop the attacker before they hurt us. That's what we need to do. Why she did none of those, I don't know. No training, no awareness, but that's what we need to do. And that's why I want everybody watching this and listening to this to always be aware of what's going on around you so you can keep yourself safe. Now, on the flip side of this, it shows that anything can be a weapon. I talk about improvised weapons as a mindset more than an object. Anything can be used as a weapon to hurt people. Remember the first John Wick? The legend was he killed 3 with a pencil. A pencil can be a deadly weapon. A pen can be a deadly weapon. If you kill someone with it, drive it far enough into their eye. So anything can be a weapon. That can be in a court of law against a person. It can be for you when you have to defend yourself against another armed person. If you can arm yourself with anything to give you a little bit better advantage to stop that attacker from hurting you, that's what we need to do. Another thing I wanted to address about this video, one article that I read where I learned that it was in Brazil, and I learned that he was released and that she wasn't seriously hurt. I scanned through some of the comments, which often I don't like to do because it shows just how low humanity has become when we look through comments on certain posts. And this post was no exception. Now, there were many people like, oh my gosh, that was terrible. Violence is not the answer, and those kind of comments. But there were also numerous comments about, she had it coming. That'll teach her. She won't do that again. Tons of comments of that nature. And that illustrates that we don't know who is out there, who we're interacting with, and people with that kind of mindset that will embrace violence over something minor can be very dangerous, and why we have to be aware not only of our surroundings, but what are we doing that affects our safety. Apparently she bumped him with the cart, and then there was also some stuff in there that she called him gay and something like that. So there was some kind of verbal exchange where she insulted his sexuality and different something of that nature. I'm not 100% sure. The article wasn't very clear. But if she did do something like that and she engaged in some name calling, then she was affecting her own safety. No one should get smashed in the face with a shopping cart for verbs and words, for verbal altercation. But you have to realize there are many people out there that will go to violence over the verbal altercation. Some people think it's just going to be words, and they get off on, they're going to say this and that and that. And then when they get punched in the face, they weren't expecting it because they don't expect violence to go that far. Violence to that, is physical to them, and they don't think the verbal will cause that or should go that far. There are a lot of people out there that'll punch you in the face, or this guy picked up a shopping cart and smashed a shopping cart on her face over some minor verbal altercation. I'm not saying it's justified. I think it is wrong. But there are people out there that will do it, and you have to recognize and understand that to keep yourself safe. Going to say good morning to Jay. Appreciate you being here, Jay. And James says, walk away is always the best policy. It is, James, because you don't know who you're going to deal with. This woman, I don't know exactly what she did. It said that she called him something, maybe bumped him with the cart, didn't do anything that deserved getting smashed in the face with a shopping cart. No means that she deserved that. But there are people out there, such as him, that reacted that way. And we have to know that. And that's why we need to minimize altercations with people. And we need to be aware that if something escalates to that we can keep ourselves safe. It's simple as that. We need to be looking out for our own personal safety. And that means curbing what we do that could increase our risk and being aware so we can respond to risks. So a little bit of information from that short little video that was shared to me, and then I did a little bit of follow-up to find out more about it. If you haven't seen that video and you want to, it's sort of graphic. I'm glad the woman wasn't hurt because it looks like she could have been hurt very seriously. If you haven't seen it, it is on my Facebook wall where somebody shared it to me, or you can just Google woman being smashed in the face with a shopping cart and you'll probably find it. Jay says, be aware. Always. Number one principle for staying safe is situational awareness. That's why I'm always preaching and writing about it. We need to be aware. And she was not aware when he picked up that shopping cart and came and smashed it down on her face and head. So that's just a little bit I wanted to share today about that shopping cart incident. If you haven't watched it, go take a look. It's on my Facebook wall. It's out there on the internet, really easy to find. It's a little bit graphic. If you don't like, a scene of graphic violence, you might not want to watch it. If you're somebody like me that studies violence so we can help other people, there's some lessons that you can watch that. And I've shared some lessons. Maybe you'll think of some of your own that you might spot that I missed. But it's a good teaching tool for those of us that are trying to help keep people safe. And that's why I want to discuss that today with Coffee with Alain. I appreciate everybody that's here. Please share this, get it out to more people so we can have more people enjoying life safely. Take care, everyone. We will see you tomorrow.